Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite Pseudo Legendary Pokémon. Now, Pseudo Legendary Pokémon, for anybody who might not know what they are, but they're basically Pokémon you find in in the various Pokemon games that have a 3-stage evolution and all of their stats add up to 600. I think 600 stats in total. Like, if you go through all of their stats in when they're fully leveled up, they all add up to 600. And each game typically has one pseudo legendary Pokemon, and this list will be me talking about some of my favorites that we've seen throughout the Pokemon series. So yeah, for number 5 is Hydreigon. Now, this Pokemon I think is a really cool Pokemon. I think I do like the use of its multiple heads, kind of, because it's got the main heads that you see on Hydreigon, and then its arms, or its hands, are kind of look like heads. I think that's quite cool, and I do like the whole dragon dart combination. I think it suits the Pokemon quite well, and yeah, I do like how it flies with its 6 wings. I think the wings on its back are supposed to be wings, and yeah, I think it's a really cool Pokemon. It's kind of also a bit intimidating if you've played through Pokemon Black and White, because if you've got to the end of that game, you would most likely forget it as Hydreigon, and his Hydreigon has a bunch of moves, or various moves like Surf, I believe, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, or Fire Blast. I think it's hang on. I think it's Fire Blast, Surf, Focus Blast, and Thunder, I believe. And they all can counter different Pokemon or different members of your team, depending if you've got a Water type, a Fire type, Ice type. And I think, in case it doesn't have any of those moves, I think I might have a Dragon type. I don't 100% remember move in its repertoire, but I think if it does have a Dragon type move, it can take out your Dragon type Pokemon if you have a Dragon type on your team. But yeah, overall, I think Hydreigon is a really cool Pokemon. So yeah, for number 4 is Komodo. Now, this Pokemon is basically a dragon fighting type, and I think we haven't seen a dragon fighting type in the Pokemon series since Komodo was introduced, and I think it's a really cool design. It's kind of like a really scaly looking dragon. It basically brings the whole, because what I'm trying to get at is that with a lot of the dragon types, you've got ones like Dragonite, for example, who looks kind of cool, I would say, but you've also got that thing of with Pokemon like Dragonite or Dragon type Pokemon, they either look cute or intimidating, and with Komodo, I think it's a bit bulky and a bit intimidating, and I do like how he's got scales, and you do get to see his scales, and you don't get to see that sort of thing with other dragon type Pokemon. I think I was trying to get with that, my point with that. So yeah, and yeah, the dragon fighting type is really cool and unique, even though it is really weak to fairy types. I still think it's a very cool dual typing, and it's one of those types you don't really see that often, having 2 opposing types just coming together for a particular Pokemon. So yeah, for number 3 is Tyranitar. Now, Tyranitar, what I like about this Pokemon is that it's it looks pretty bulky, even though it's a rock and dark type, so that means it's really weak to fighting type, and it's weak to bug type. I think it's sort of weak to bug type. I could be wrong. But it's one of those really cool looking Pokemon. I do like the whole, it kind of looks like a dinosaur, but not really. It kind of looks like something out of the prehistoric times, and it looks like it come from there and then brought over to the modern day, or in the Pokemon equivalents of the modern day, and it looks really cool. And for its mega form, it's pretty decent. It's okay. I think the amount of spikes that's coming out of it's cool, but I think its regular form, in my opinion, is slightly better than its mega form. I think with Mega Tyranitar, I think with the amount of spikes, it's a bit too much, I think, in my opinion. But overall, Tyranitar is a really, really cool Pokemon, so yeah. For number 2 is Metagross. Now, Metagross is is one of the few Pokemon that isn't a Dragon type. The other one is Tyranitar. And what I really like about Metagross is how it evolves, because you start with a Beldum, which is basically this little floating metal spike thing with an eye, and then it becomes a Metang, which is basically when you put two Beldums together. I think that's what it says in its Pokédex entry. And then for when it becomes Metagross, the two Metangs, I believe they come together to make Metagross, and that's a really cool way of how Pokemon evolve when it comes to their Dex entries. And with Metagross as a whole, I think it's a really cool Pokemon. I do like the blue sheen that it has on its body, and also its shiny form is also really cool. It's like silver with the yellow on its X, and with Mega Metagross, it's also really cool. I do like how you've got its legs. It's got 4 legs poking out front, and then I believe it's got 2 smaller ones on the back. That's also really cool. And I think with Metagross, it's just one of those really cool Pokemon that's just you'd kind of wish you wanted to have around, because it's like this really cool Steel Psychic type. And it's similar to Komodo, where you've got the Dragon and Fighting type combo, where with those ones, it's like these two are quite polar opposites, but with Komodo, it kind of works. With Metagross, because it's a Steel Psychic type, which are quite, in my personal opinion, kind of polar opposites. I think Metagross really makes it work, and it's a really cool design, and I think it's a really cool Pokemon overall. So yeah. And for number 1 is Garchomp. Now, Garchomp is, I would say, the poster boy for Pseudo Legendary Pokemon, because I think it's 1, its design, and 2, it's the main Pokemon used by Cynthia in the Generation 4 games. And yeah, I think, in my personal opinion, I do think Garchomp is one of, if not the best, Pseudo Legendary Pokemon, because it's really cool. I think I do really like his design. It's basically a land shark, and it's just really, really cool and really bulky. Whether that's if you have one on your team or if you're fighting Cynthia. And yeah, with Mega Garchomp, I do like how it gets a bit more larger in his design, but I do prefer regular Garchomp over to his Mega form. But with Garchomp as a whole, I think the Dragon Ground type is an interesting combination, because he's a land shark. But overall, it's a really cool, and I do like how his evolution evolves into starting off with Gibble, where he's just this really cool, cute, adorable Pokemon. Then it becomes Gabite, where he looks more intimidating, and then when he becomes Garchomp, he looks more bulky and can take a few hits, as well as looks really cool and really intimidating, and as well as using a variety of moves depending on which ones you have on your Garchomp. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favourite Pseudo Legendary Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.